Now, what I'm about to show you will save you countless hours of hopeless scouting looking for the best Wonder Kids. And we're going to use a scouting tool to find you the best player in your Football Manager save and how you can also find the best Wonder Kids based on facts in your save that you can use to improve your team and take your squad to the next level. Now, if you've been following this channel, you've known that I've made a lot of videos using my Atletico Madrid save, and if you look at our squads, we are stacked with a lot of great players and a lot of wonder kids, and some of them are players that I scouted in the game, and some of them are players that we well know, like someone like Moises Caicedo is quite a good player as well. But I'm going to show you how you can actually do all this and get all these players. But I need to warn you first of all, the tool I'm about to show you, you don't need to overdo it. And because if you do overdo it, you end up with a lot of players in your squad, and some of them might not have the time to always play all the time, and then they're going to get upset and all this kind of stuff. So you need to know how you're doing it. And I'm going to show you how to do this for a top team, how to get the best players for a top team, the very best in your team. And in case you're managing an underdog team, a lower league team, or a team in the Vanarama Conference or the not in non-league football, I'm also going to show you how to use this tool to get the best players that can fit into your squad. So if you're new to the channel, remember to hit the subscribe button so you can get notified when more Football Manager videos like this do come out. So let's get into the video. So the tool that we're going to be using to run this particular scouting method is the FM Scout Genie Scout. And if you go over to the FM Scout website, fmscout.com, you can head over to tools, and then you can see Genie Scout 24. Just go ahead and click that. And this is for Football Manager 2024, but in case you're using a different version of Football Manager, you can just go ahead and find the FM Genie Scout for your particular year. Maybe you're playing FM 2021, you can find Genie Scout for FM 21 or FM 22 or FM 23 or FM 24. Just go ahead and download it and install it onto your computer. It's completely free. You don't need to pay for anything. What Genie Scout does is to tell you how good a player is and also give you their internal hidden attributes and also how well they can be. It also calculates their potential ability in relation to their current ability. It shows you all this kind of stuff. Now, in case you're new to Football Manager current ability and potential ability, Football Manager rates players by current ability and potential ability of 0 to 100, 0 being very low current ability. I don't think anybody has an ability of 0, and the very best ability rating is 200. So the very best players will have a potential or current ability rating of 200. And I don't think Lionel Messi had ability of 200, but let's just assume level 200 is probably godlike status, if there's anybody like that with a level 200 potential ability or current ability. So when you're searching in Genie Scout, you want to have players that have very high potential abilities. I think 150 and above are a good value to search for players that are absolutely worth signing. So once you're on Genie Scout, you can head over to this GS over here and then click it and load your game. I currently already have my game loaded, so you can see it down here, game loaded successfully. And you can go ahead and see or search for players based on their name, based on the nationality or the nation that they're currently playing. You can use their age and check. You can use their current ability and potential ability. You can see the current and potential ability here. You can also see their current rating by position. So in case I'm looking for a goalkeeper, I can go ahead and click this drop down and say I need a goalkeeper, and he must have a current, let's say he must have a current ability of about 80 over 100 in the goalkeeping position. That just narrows the search down and makes sure that the player that pops up is going to be an actual goalkeeper. And you can also use the potential for that position as well and calculate all those things, and that is how you go about doing it. So I'm going to just put this on best position and then leave it at 0 default. So back in Football Manager, you can see that my best player in this team is Park Myung-jin. Is a Korean, 21 years of age. He is very, very good. But I'm going to use a player that we're all familiar with in Moises Caicedo. Now, Moises Caicedo is a 28-year-old Colombian central defensive midfielder or central midfielder, very dynamic, one of the very best players that I've gone on to manage on Football Manager. But in the game, we can see his attributes, but we can't really see his potential attributes or current ability. Okay, we can see it here by star rating or his current and potential ability is, But we can go over to Genie Scout and check for Moises Caicedo. So now in Genie Scout, all I have to do is get into the name column and type in Caicedo. And once that's in, you can see there are two Caicedos, Walter Caicedo at Quetta, but we're looking for Moises Caicedo that plays for my club, Atletico Madrid. You can see his current ability is 174 and his potential ability is 175. So Moises Caicedo is already at his peak. Now, if I need to find a better player than Moises Caicedo, all I would have to do is take out his name from the search bar and go over to potential ability. Let's use potential ability, not current ability, because in case we're trying to replace Caicedo, the player that we're going to get may not be as good as he is, but the player can become better than Caicedo in the future. So just go ahead and select players 175 for potential ability and above, and then press enter. It's going to list out all the players that have potential ability higher than 175 in my game. Now, it's a lot of players to comb through, and some of them play for other clubs, but we can narrow the search down to players that we absolutely want to play for our club. So let's say Atletico Madrid is in Spanish La Liga, so I'm going to just narrow this search down to Spain. Let's see if we can type in Spain. For some reason I can't type in Spain, so let me just lock it to EU nationality and go ahead and press enter again. It's going to narrow the search down to players that are only in the European Union. So for some reason, players from Brazil and Argentina, some of the best places to find Wonderkids anyway, those players are not going to pop up on this list. You can also filter their potential and see who the very best players is. Now you notice that I have Traore Abu Dramane playing for my club, and he has a potential ability of 199. His current ability is still 123, so he is developing. As at the point when I signed him, he was at 111 also, or 112. So that's how you can go about improving players in your team. Now, if we head over to Football Manager and then you look for Abu Dramane, I can just scroll down and see if I go ahead and find him, Abu Dramane Traore. Here he is. You can see his 5-star attribute. He's still a 2-star player, but I know he's going to be very good. So I already have one of the best players in the game already playing for my club. His attributes are going to get there eventually, and that's down to us training him. So this is how you can go about using Genie Scout to find the very best players in your game and sign them before another club gets their hands on them. How much did I sign Abu Dramane for? I'm sure it was a lot of money. Let me just check. It was Atletico Madrid B. Okay, I signed him in 2029 for only 41 million from LOSC Lille Metropole. So we got him for 41 million. That's a cheap buy for the amount of money that he's going to cost in value. Now, another trick I like to use Genie Scout for is to search the best players by comparison. So I'm going to just get over to the league, go to competitions, and then Spanish First Division. And this is the league, La Liga, that we're in right now. Now, the best team in La Liga is Real Madrid. They are the current title holders. But in case you're in doubt, we're going to head over to the overview and head over to season preview. And you're going to see Atletico Madrid is second and Real Madrid are the very best team in the land. Now, before I select any of these teams, you want to just look towards the right and look at key players in the league. Now, Moises Caicedo is the third best player in this league. The very best player is Endrick, and the second best is Eduardo Camavinga. Now, in comparison with Moises Caicedo, I could look at Camavinga and see who the very best player in the league is. Or let's go over to Endrick just to make it more logical. Endrick is the best player in the league. Now, if you want to get a player better than your best player in the league, you just use Endrick, for example, and then head over to Genie Scout. Once you're in here, we can remove the potential rating because sometimes you're never sure of the player's potential rating. So take out that potential rating and get over to the name section and type in Endrick. He is the example that we're using. So you have Endrick from Brazil. Endrick has a potential ability of 180. Remember, Moises Caicedo has a potential ability of 175. So if I want to get a player better than Endrick, I need to sign player with potential ability or current ability higher than what Endrick already has. So that's how you can go about using Genie Scout to find the very best players in your game and then sign them for cheap. Now I'm going to just take off Endrick and we're going to look for Wonderkids that are currently in the game. Let's say players that are not up to the age of 21. And maybe they're around 16 years of age, no potential yet, or let's lock the potential to players that we want in our squad. 175 potential ability, take that down for me. Now we can see the very best players in the game and the club that they play for, or players that are eventually going to become the very best players in the game by stats. So we can see some players play for Freiburg. There's Tim Bind here. He's playing for Freiburg. A very neat trick you can do on Genie Scout is, instead of signing everybody like this, you can go ahead and just select one of the players here and press Ctrl A on the keyboard to select all the players like you normally do, and then right click and then add players. Once you click add players, it's going to add all the players to a shortlist. Once you head over to my shortlist over here, you can see all the players, and then go ahead and click save shortlist on the top left corner. Once you click save shortlist, you can give it a name and then say example shortlist best players, or let's use best Wonderkids. Once you have that in there, you can head over to Football Manager. Now once you're in Football Manager, you can head over to your scouting column and go over to shortlist. Under shortlist, you can see import shortlist. I think it's the right gear here. Select this and you can see import shortlist. You can find example best Wonderkids from Genie Scout, and then go ahead and load that, and that shortlist has been loaded successfully, and all the players that you found in Genie Scout are now in your game, in your shortlist. So you can go ahead switch from default to the example shortlist. It may not show immediately, so you have to proceed in your game a few times. If you're using the default skin, you may not have a problem with this. I don't know why my skin normally does this, but let me just proceed in the game a few days. I have a game against Fenerbahce coming up. Oops. So let's try and go back to that scouting and see if we can see the short list. We still don't see it. Okay, it says the shortlist has been imported successfully into default, so they are now part of the default shortlist. That's not what I was looking for ideally. So I'm just going to create a new one and say new sh, and then I'm going to import that shortlist, example shortlist, and say yes, load that into new sh. So now the new sh shortlist is going to contain all the players from Genie Scout. My default shortlist already has them, but that's my mistake. You need to create a new shortlist and then import those players into that new shortlist. So that's what I actually missed as a step. So there is what we have now. You have all the players that you searched in Genie Scout that you know are absolutely good. Some of them may have appeared in other shortlists for me, but these are the very best players in the game, and all of them have a recommendation from my scouts. So how do you do this if you're playing in non-league? Let's head over to Vanarama Conference League in a different save than I'm currently playing. So now we're in our Blitz Spartan save in the Vanarama, what's this league now? Vanarama National League. We've gotten one promotion and this is year 2025. So it's a newer save, and if you look at my squad, we are not fully stacked yet, and that's because Blitz Spartans, to me, they don't have a lot of money, so I haven't been spending excessively signing the very best players in non-league. And what I like to do in this case is to use the Genie Scout to find players that are good enough for my squad. And if you look at the league and where we stack up, if you look at the Vanarama National League, same process that I used for Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid. Head over to season preview. We're currently predicted to finish dead last in the league, and there's a player here in Armando Dobra. Dobra is an inside forward because of his foot, and inside forward, number 10, attacking midfielder, that sort of player. So what I'm going to do is to head into the Genie Scout, and in Genie Scout, just like I did before, have the save game loaded, and then head over to players, and of course remove all the settings that you possibly can, and just to make sure it's clear and you don't have any errors, because you can't search 175 in Vanarama Conference League. You might not find anybody. So let's use Dobra now, and remember to uncheck this EU option that we did for Moises Caicedo, and then Dobra, just go ahead and search. You can see Amanda Dobra playing for Chesterfield. He has a potential ability of 115. So if I'm looking for a player better than Dobra, I'm going to have to search. And because I'm not looking for the very, very best players, I'm going to narrow this down to maybe 125, and then have this option be at 100, and then take off Dobra's name and go ahead and search. Now a lot of players have popped up, so we're going to have to narrow the search down more and more. So let's take 110. That still narrows the search to a lot of players. So in Genie Scout, you can also search by players that their contract are currently expired or is about to expire in 6 months, or players that have contract expiring in 1 year. I'm going to just use free transfer players. And for current ability, I want players that have current ability above 90 for the Vanarama Conference League. And I'm going to narrow that search down. Now it gives me the very best players within that criteria that are good enough to fill into my squad and are also available on a free transfer. So I can go ahead and shortlist all these players and take them to Football Manager. What I can also do is to raise this bar, let's say 120. 120 by 110. You have to be careful not to go too high because those players might not be interested in joining your club. This gives us a lot more players to look at, but it's going to be enough. And then there's a player here with 113. Okay, it's showing me players from Saudi Arabia and other countries, so I'm going to lock it down to EU as well because EU players are likely going to pop up. If I could do English players, okay, I can do English players. Very good. So narrow that search down again. It's giving us players that are only in the English region now, so we don't need to worry about work permits. So I can just select all these players now. There's Robbie Condi over here. I can just look at him straight up. There's also a Ranky Dion. You can head over to Football Manager. There's a player Dion Rankin, so let's just search him. Dion Rankin, and he's a Jamaican, but he should fit into the squad. So you can head over and see he's available on a free transfer. So if we need it in my club, I am certain that this guy is good enough to fit into the squad because I've checked his potential ability and current ability, and he makes my squad slightly better. So if I go over to approach, it's just to do the business of agreeing the contract. You might have this problem in the lower leagues where some players are not interested in signing for your club, so you just have to narrow the search down to players that are really interested in coming to your club. That is what takes us to the next step. So here you can select this player and say Control A, select everybody, add those players to shortlist, and then on the shortlist you can go ahead and save it and say non-league players. Save that. Now in Football Manager, we're going to do the same process. Head over to scouting, and under the we're in transfer now. Head over to scouting, shortlist, and in the shortlist, remember we don't have to use the default. We actually learned this today, both of us. So new shortlist then, new potential signings. Now we have a new shortlist, so head over to the gears and say import shortlist, and we can have our non-league players. I typed player, wow. Load them in. They've been loaded into your new potential signings. And what you can do now is to, fingers crossed, players that are interested in signing for your club. Filter it by that. So there's only one, wow. Only one of these players are interested in signing for my club. Joe Snowden. Now Snowden is quite good. He's a central midfielder, but I think I have a lot of those. But you can see his potential ability and current ability is quite good for my club, and my assistant manager is recommending that this is a player that we should absolutely sign. He is better than my best central midfielder, so he's an addition I would want to bring to my club. He's willing to talk, but he's willing to play as a star player. He could make us better as a player. So I can go ahead and finalize promises and negotiate the contract and then go ahead and sign him. I can take this off. 3 years, 1K per week. Isn't that too much? What's he doing with that kind of money? He's still insisting on 1K, so I'm going to take off the appearance fee and the unused substitute fee. If he's in the team of the year, that's good for us. Give him more money there. 1.1K. Will I take that? 1K. Alright. We'll go with that. It's a lot of money, I know, but he's a player that makes my team better. So that's how you can go about using Genie Scout to get the very best players that could improve your squad or even help you find the very best players in the game overall. Now, just to recap, in case you need to get Genie Scout, head over to the FM Scout website, and over here you can find Genie Scout for your Football Manager game. I'm currently on FM 2024, so I'm using Genie Scout 24 to do this, but you can get Genie Scout for 2023, 2022, 2021, and download it and follow the same process to find the very best players in your game.